Once, beneath a wide green leaf, there lived a small caterpillar. He was not fast. He was not strong. He was not beautiful. He could not fly. Every day he crawled from leaf to leaf. Every day he watched the sky. And every day he asked the same question: why am I so slow? Above him, bees moved quickly from flower to flower. Birds crossed the sky. Butterflies danced in the sunlight. Even the ants seemed busy. Everyone looked like they knew where they were going. Everyone looked like they were becoming something. The caterpillar looked at himself. Then he looked at them. And once again he asked, "Why am I so slow?" One morning, a beautiful butterfly landed on a flower nearby. Her wings shone blue and gold in the morning light. The flowers welcomed her. The wind carried her gently through the air. The caterpillar could not stop watching. "I wish I could be like her," he whispered. The butterfly smiled. Then she flew away. The caterpillar watched until she disappeared into the bright sky. He never forgot her wings. That night he could not sleep. The moon hung above the forest. The stars filled the darkness. The world felt peaceful, but his heart was not peaceful. Everyone is moving. Everyone is growing. Everyone is becoming something. Why am I different? The next day, he decided to change. He would move faster. He would work harder. He would try more. So he crawled without resting. He climbed higher branches. He pushed himself every day. Still, the bees passed him. The birds passed him. The butterflies passed him. Nothing changed. One afternoon, he slipped from a branch. He fell onto the soft ground below. His body hurt, but his heart hurt more. He looked up at the sky. Far above him, the butterflies danced. Tears filled his eyes. Maybe I was born wrong. The wind hurt him. The trees hurt him. The grass hurt him. But nobody answered. Summer came. The forest became bright and full of life. Flowers opened everywhere. The world looked beautiful. Yet the caterpillar felt worse than ever. The more beauty he saw, the smaller he felt. Soon he stopped looking at the butterflies. Soon he stopped looking at the sky. He looked only at the ground. One evening, he met a snail. The snail was crossing a stone very slowly. The caterpillar laughed. "You are slower than I am." The snail smiled. "Maybe." Then the snail asked, "Where are you going?" The caterpillar opened his mouth, but no answer came. He had never thought about it. The snail looked at him kindly. "If you do not know where you are going, why do you hurry so much?" The caterpillar said nothing. The snail continued on his way, slowly, very slowly, yet somehow he looked peaceful. The caterpillar watched until he disappeared. Then he looked at the sky, and for the first time he wondered if speed was really the answer. Autumn arrived. The air became cooler. The leaves began to change color. Something inside the caterpillar felt different. He could not explain it. A quiet feeling had started to grow inside him. One morning, he woke and heard a small voice deep in his heart. Rest. The caterpillar blinked. Rest? How could he rest? Everyone else was moving. Everyone else was becoming something. The voice returned. Rest. Trust. Rest. Trust. The words frightened him. He had spent his whole life trying to move faster. Now something inside him was asking him to stop. Days passed. The voice grew stronger until finally, beneath a large leaf, the caterpillar began to build a small silk home around himself. A cocoon. A quiet place to sleep and change. The bees laughed when they saw it. "What is he doing?" The butterflies shook their heads. "He has given up." Some caterpillars whispered to each other, "He will never become anything." The caterpillar heard every word. Each word felt heavy, but the voice inside him continued to whisper, "Rest, trust, rest, trust." Soon the cocoon was finished. The caterpillar climbed inside. The world disappeared. No flowers, no sky, no butterflies, only darkness. At first, the darkness felt peaceful. Then it became frightening. Days passed, then more days. Nothing seemed to happen. The caterpillar waited, and waited, and waited. One day, fear entered his heart. Maybe they were right. Maybe I gave up. Maybe I made a mistake. The darkness gave no answer. More days passed. The silence became heavier. The caterpillar felt alone. Very, very alone. Outside, spring arrived. Flowers opened. Life moved on. The forest continued its song. Birds sang. The wind moved through the trees. The forest lived on. But inside the cocoon, there was only silence. Then the caterpillar felt something strange. His body was changing. He did not understand what was happening. Parts of him felt different. Parts of him seemed to disappear. This frightened him more than the darkness. At least before, he knew who he was. A slow caterpillar, a small caterpillar, a sad caterpillar. But now, even that was disappearing. One night, fear filled every corner of his heart. Tears rolled down his face. Maybe I was never meant to fly. The darkness remained silent. The caterpillar cried until he had no tears left. Then he whispered one last question. "Why am I so slow?" No answer came, only silence. Deep, endless silence. And so he stopped asking. He stopped fighting. He stopped trying to become someone else. For the first time in his life, he simply rested. The forest could not see it. The birds could not see it. Even the caterpillar could not see it. But change had already begun. Life was working quietly. Life was preparing something beautiful. Winter arrived. The forest became cold and still. The flowers disappeared. The leaves fell. The branches stood empty against the gray sky. The cocoon remained. Many animals forgot it was there. It looked lifeless. It looked forgotten. It looked finished. But appearances do not tell the whole story. The long winter slowly passed. The cold began to fade. The earth awoke once more. Spring returned. The first flowers opened. The first birds sang. The first warm wind touched the trees. And deep inside the cocoon, something moved. A new strength filled the small creature within. Not the strength to crawl, not the strength to compete, a different strength, the strength to begin. A small crack appeared. Light entered. The creature inside had not seen light for a long time. It felt warm. It felt wonderful. The crack grew larger, then larger still. At last, the cocoon opened. The creature stepped out. For a moment, he simply stared. He looked at himself. Everything had changed. Soft, dark wings rested at his sides. Beautiful wings, quiet wings, wings that looked like pieces of the night sky. The creature trembled, not with fear, with wonder. The old caterpillar was gone. A moth stood in his place. Slowly, the moth climbed onto a branch. The wind touched his wings. The sky stretched endlessly above him. For a long moment, he remembered every question he had ever asked. Why am I so slow? Why am I so slow? Why am I so slow? The question had followed him through every season. Then he opened his wings. The wind lifted him. The earth moved farther below. The trees became smaller. The sky became larger. And for the first time in his life, he flew. Tears filled his eyes, not from sadness, from understanding. All those years he thought he was behind. All those years he thought he was broken. All those years he thought everyone else was becoming something while he stayed the same. But he had been becoming all along. The change had simply been hidden. As evening came, butterflies filled the air. They danced in the last golden light of the day. The moth watched them. Then he saw her. Blue and gold wings catching the last light. She was exactly as he remembered. This time, he no longer wished to be a butterfly. He only felt something quiet and warm, like meeting an old friend you no longer needed to copy. The sun slowly disappeared beyond the forest. Darkness spread across the sky. One by one, the butterflies disappeared. The bees returned home. The birds became quiet. Soon the forest was dark, completely dark. The moth sat quietly on a branch. Then something wonderful happened. The moon rose. Silver light touched the trees. The stars appeared. The night opened like a beautiful secret. And suddenly, the moth understood. The butterflies belonged to the day, but he belonged to the night. The sky he had waited for his whole life had finally arrived. The darkness he once feared had become his home. The season he once did not want had become his greatest gift. The moth smiled. At last, he knew the answer. He was never late. He had only been becoming. He lifted his wings and flew into the moonlit sky. Below him, another young caterpillar watched from a leaf. The little caterpillar looked at the butterflies, then looked at himself, and quietly asked, "Why did I have to wait so long?" The moth flew down beside him. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then the moth smiled gently. "Do not fear the days when nothing seems to happen. Do not fear the quiet seasons. Do not fear the darkness. Some of the most important changes happen where no eyes can see." The young caterpillar listened carefully. The moth looked at the moon. Then he shared the words he wished someone had told him long ago. You are not falling behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. The young caterpillar looked up at the stars, and somehow the night did not feel so frightening anymore. The forest grew quiet. The moon continued its journey across the sky, and somewhere in the darkness, another small life was changing, slowly, quietly, beautifully, just as it was meant to.